Yo, what's going on, guys? And today is KO Combat Bets, and we're back with another video. Today we got Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez, UFC 290. Let's get straight into the picks. So we are gonna be doing a full card pick, and yeah, if you guys want more picks, more exclusive picks, and yeah, I'm just right now we're doing free picks, so you guys can have more free picks down. Instagram, KO Combat Bets, Discord down in the description below, everything like that. But yeah, let's get straight into the video. The first beginning fights are basically pick'ems and closer-ish fights because they have little to no experience in the UFC. You can check their other previous fights, but also it is harder to find. But let's go to the UFC stats page. Let's get both of these guys in here. And this is the beginning fight, 12-5 versus 11-1. So if you check their stats, this guy is a Dana White Contender Series, and some UFC fights. So he lost his Dana White Contender Series. This guy, pretty solid fighter. So not a bad outcome. And then he won, and then he lost. So the strikes, as you can see, you can also check these stats right here. 1994, 1996, 2 years age difference right here. This guy has 0% takedown accuracy. He's never gotten a takedown. And also 47% defense. So this guy, the defense 53, 40% accuracy. The strikes, everything like that. This guy throws more strikes. And also this fight, as you can see, won his Dana White Contender Series fight, and then fought right here. And yeah, so this fight, as you can see, had a lot of control time, and that is why he lost the fight. And this guy, if you check his other recent fights right here, Damon Jackson had 5 minutes of control time, 0 minutes for him. He had 1 minute of control time, 0-0. So this guy also does not really shoot for takedowns much, and this guy gets taken down a lot and gets controlled, and that's how he loses. But he did put out very good striking numbers against him. So let's check back on this. So it's only a minus 150, $100, $150 pays you $100. Pretty good odds for him. So then now let's go to the next fight. Dana White Contender Series won, and then lost very quickly to a pretty solid fighter. He's also fighting on this card. This guy is right here, 3-0 in the UFC, 13-0 prospect, very good. So yeah, not a bad losing to him, but let's check his thing. 13-7, lost on the Dana White Contender Series, and then lost very quickly here. Was getting outstriked 1-14. This guy is pretty solid, but 100% takedown defense. 0% takedown defense, as you can see here, but as here he does get some 6 minutes of control time. That's very good. And this guy, 100% takedown defense. Only 2 fights though, so this fight ended very quickly. And this fight, the guy was only 0-1 in takedowns and 0-0. So it's basically not really 100% takedown defense, just only defended 1 takedown. This guy is also 1986. This guy's much younger than him, a little less experience inside the UFC, but actually never mind. I'm sorry. Same amount of experience in the UFC. This guy lost twice. This guy lost to a pretty solid fighter, and then won his Contender Series win. So let's go back here. He's only minus 145 as well, so better odds than him. I'll take these 2 right here for minus money, but still pretty good odds. So next, these bigger ones right here. I believe this guy's undefeated. Yeah, 8-0, Dana White Contender Series, and then 2 wins right here. Very good striking numbers. Very good. This guy, no one's really seen him, and this guy is 2011 years age difference, which is big, but I feel like there's no point of betting these people because no fights in him, so most of his fights are not going to even be seen, so no one really knows what he has to bring. And then this guy is also 8-0, very young, so he still has a lot of experience. If he loses, it's not going to be that crazy of a deal since he still has such a long way to go. Very young in the sport. And yeah, no one. So for these fights, 15-2, still good experience with this guy's 8-0 with 2 fights in the UFC and 1 on Dana White Contender Series. So if you check the opponents right here, not like the best of opponents, but still he undefeated. There's no reason to bet on these fights. And I feel like if you would bet, just bet plus 420. That's very good money. Just don't throw a whole unit on it. Just throw a little bit, maybe like 0.2 or anything like that. Just if it wins, it wins. If it doesn't lose, doesn't really matter. Especially on these very young guys, since UFC is so unpredictable, and in these prelim fights, anything can happen. Basically, anything can happen in any of these fights. Like plus this, anything can happen in this fight, but the prelims, really anything can happen. Let's go to this fight right here. Dana White Contender Series win, and then a UFC win. A very close fight. Very close on the control numbers, everything like that. 77% takedown, very good. Defends a lot of takedowns right here. This person never got a takedown in the UFC. 62% defense. So with his numbers right here, 77, it should still be. He could have 5 minutes of control time in this fight. If he doesn't do it quickly, but as you can see here, the age difference as well, 88 to 97. 8-0 prospect right here. Gets a 16-6 fighter. Lost to him out. He lost. He fought a lot of people. He has a lot of experience. With this guy only having 1 UFC fight. And then this fight was also a very strange type of fight right here. But if you guys saw it. But yeah, this guy has beaten some pretty solid fighters, lost to some pretty solid fighters as well. So he does have the experience on here. Doesn't shoot for takedowns, so that could be one of his issues. And 62% takedown defense, pretty good. But as you can see in this fight, he got 6 minutes of control time with only 77%. So he could have around 5 minutes of control time during this fight. And yeah, so in the clinch, not many strikes landed. In the ground, he doesn't do much damage with the 6 minutes of control time. Only 9 out of 11 significant strikes on the ground. So yeah, but other than that, he most likely will not get taken down. And he most likely could take this guy down in only a 3-round fight. If you take the person down and you just control him for that, you can win a round very easy like that. This guy does have, they're both around the same height. This guy does have the experience. This guy has the experience, fought some pretty solid competition, beat some alright fighters, lost to some pretty good fighters, but it wouldn't be bad to put your money on this for plus 200, but I feel like minus 230 is decently good odds. So yeah, I would put my money right here. Let's go now to these fights. So this is a rematch coming into here. Let's check the fighters right here. So it's a draw. The striking numbers, Jimmy Crute is an awful striker, but so Alonzo was winning the fight, and he just had a point deducted. So yeah, Alonzo was winning the fight until he had a point deducted, and that's what made it a draw. He was on a 2-fight winning streak against some pretty mediocre competition. Lost to William Knight here, but Jimmy Crute's striking is very awful, and he is a pretty solid fighter. Lost to Jamal Hill, the champ, and then lost to Anthony Smith, a pretty alright fighter. But as you can see in the stats here, 6 out of 12 takedowns. The control time is basically what got him the draw. But if Alonzo fixes his takedown defense, which is 75%, especially if you're getting taken down 6 times out of 12, his takedown defense is pretty good. But he was winning the fight, since if it's a striking fight, Jimmy Crute just gets annihilated. So it's kind of, the odds reflect that. It's basically a pick 'em, because if Jimmy Crute can't take him down and Alonzo learn takedown defense, learn how to not get taken down, he wins the fight just like last time. Basically how he's winning before. So the plus money is not a bad shout, since he was winning the fight before and you just got the point deducted, so got unlucky. And Jimmy Crute's strategy is not going to change. Alonzo's strategy can only really get better. And I feel like Jimmy Crute's strategy could not really get much better, since he's just, Alonzo knows what he's going to do. He's not going to strike, he's going to take down. So he could have just defense. But all I'm saying this, I still have to take Jimmy Crute minus 140. I feel like he's the better fighter, younger fighter. And yeah, Alonzo is all right, but I have to take Jimmy. So yeah, the next two fights I will not be covering, since they are just way too big of odds right here. So yeah, let's just get into Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price. So if you go here, this is Robbie Lawler's last fight, and we check. So Robbie Lawler first, Nico Price right here. Let's go into him first. Vicente Luque, very good fight, very close fight until he got TKO. So, but basically, he had these losses against very pretty solid fighters. Vicente Luque, Donald Cerrone was on his way out, as you can see here. Lost, and then yeah, and then Michel Pereira, also pretty good fighter, as you can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winning streak right there. Right here, pretty solid fighters again. But thing is, with Robbie Lawler, this is his last fight, and did lose to Brian, but beat Nick Diaz. Still throws crazy output. Did lose to Neil Magny, and then he lost to Colby, lost to Ben. It was really beating Ben, and then lost to RDA. Like, he's lost to some very solid fighters over the years. Yes, he is a lot older, but not that much. But still, he's been in the game for so long. As you can see here, just goes all the way to 2002. He's just been in the game for forever, and this is his last fight. So I feel like he's just gonna have to put it all into this. And him at plus money, plus 195. I feel like that is a very, very good odds for him. So yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna, I have to pick Robbie Lawler in this one, since it is his last fight. He has lost to some very good guys, and I think he just has to give it all. Next, let's go into this fight right here. Bo Nickel versus Val. There's not really a point of picking these odds right here, but like I said, Bo Nickel is one of the craziest prospects that's ever been in the UFC. As you can see here, 2 Dana White fights, just because Dana White just needed a talent like Bo Nickel. 2-0, 5-0, 1-1, and 1, all in the first round. And yeah, so with this, Bo Nickel is younger and has less experience, but also 5'8", 6'1", feel like the height plays a lot. And also just, if you would like, you can throw money on Val, since Bo Nickel is so young in the game, and I feel like a loss is still gonna be very bad for him, especially to a guy not in the UFC. But a loss is not gonna be as bad, since he's just 4-0, so it is gonna be awful. But I think Bo Nickel easily wins. First takedown he gets, wins. If it might go past the first round, I feel like Val's just gonna get so tired, and Bo Nickel finishes him in the first or max second. But yeah, I think this is an easy first round finish for Bo, but it wouldn't hurt just to throw a little, like 0.1 units on Val. So next, let's go into Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. Turner missed weight by a couple pounds, and Dan Hooker is just, he's a fighter, very good fighter, loses to some very good names, but just isn't at the top of the game, and doesn't just win as much, and is not okay, but doesn't take a loss that bad, or If he loses, it's all right. He's still going to be a fan favorite. He's still going to be pretty high on the cards. He's on the main card of this very good stacked card. So I feel like a loss isn't going to be as bad as for him or anything like that. He's still a very good fighter, but Jalen is coming off a loss. Was on a pretty solid win streak right here. Missed weight. So maybe that fighters miss weight, I believe, are like 70% more likely to win. It could have been a bad weight cut, but I think Jalen Turner should win this fight. Minus 280. The odds, I feel like, are way too big for Jalen. So this isn't a fight that I would necessarily bet on just for a straight pick. Since plus 235 for Dan is still very good odds. As you can see, Dan 13-6, not the best record. Dan 22-12, still not the best record as well. But he lost to Dustin, Michael, Islam, Arnold. He's lost to, like, look, Arnold, boom, crazy. Islam, like, boom, crazy. Michael Chandler, still a very good fighter, so we can't really fault him for that. Dustin, still very good fighter as well here. And then he beats the people that are, like, maybe win some, lose some, win some, lose some. Still very good win streak here. Beats him. Paul Felders, as you can see here. So, yeah. Jalen Turner's record kind of does correlate the, like, loss, but these were a very long time ago, and then he came on this big winning streak. Beat some pretty solid guys, like Brad Riddell was all right. Jamie Larkey just lost his fight, but he wasn't a bad fighter as well. He was on 2-win and then came back. So, yeah. For the odds here, I wouldn't place a bet, but if you were to put your money, like, probably Jalen, but for the odds, you can throw it on Dan Hooker and just throw a little bit on Dan Hooker and hopefully. But yeah, so let's go to Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. So Robert's physique did look extremely good for this fight. He looks like he's in one of the best shapes he's ever been, but 19-2 against 25-6. Robert's, like, it is insane how good his record is. Only lost to Izzy in the past almost 10 years. Only's loss is to Israel Adesanya. Beats very, very good fighter. Like, most people know all these fighters right here. Just beat Marvin. Marvin was lost only to Izzy for a while right here. Izzy, win. Izzy, win. So, yeah, Marvin's a very good fighter too. Dracus is undefeated in the UFC, 19-2. Very good record. So, this is also an extremely tough fight to pick. Dracus needs this win. Like, he's a very crazy striker. So, I feel like for the money, minus 360, it isn't the best odds. But since Robert Whittaker undefeated for 10 plus years, only losing to Izzy. But also on the other side of that, Dracus needs this win. He's just fueled up like crazy. If he gets this win, he gets one of the biggest fights, one of the biggest grudge matches that could happen now. Him versus Izzy, you know, it's just going to be a crazy build-up, crazy fight. But I feel like Dracus is just not ready yet since his last fight with Derek Brunson. It just looked awkward. It didn't look like a very good striking class at all. So I feel like Robert should win this fight, but for these odds, Dracus needs it, so you can throw a little bit on Dracus, I guess, but also another fight that the odds are way too far apart to bet on and just to confidently be like, oh yes, you can make money. Let's check on the next fight. Brandon Moreno right here. Let's go to the right here. Brandon Moreno versus Alec. So yeah, Brandon Moreno right here. Very good fighter. Let's check the last little bit. Did lose to Pantoja twice. Won in the Ultimate Fighter. And then here, right here. So yeah, he's a draw against Figgy. Boom. Loss against Figgy. Beats Kai. Beats Figgy again. So yeah. Currently the champ. And he did lose 2 times. So Pantoja could be his like kryptonite, as you would say. But this is also for the odds. Pretty like this is also a very tough fight to pick. Is like for the UFC events, you don't have to bet on every fight. You just have to see the odds, see the style, see the matchup, see the fighters, and just pick which ones are best to bet at. And for these odds, you could throw money on either fighter, and it would be good since Brandon is a very good fighter. He has evolved so much from being kicked out of the UFC, but he has lost twice to Pantoja. So no one really knows, oh, could Pantoja just be the fighter that beats him every time? Kind of like how Izzy was to Pereira, but Izzy did end up getting the win. So it's kind of just like no one really knows. So I feel like I could not pick this fight as well. But you could throw your money on either fighter. Another funny one. Just throw your money on either one, and it wouldn't be bad. But if you want to get the plus money, you can throw your money on Pantoja and get the plus money. So yeah, let's go into this one. Volk is a big favorite, but come on. You could throw your money on Volk and be very confident that he could win. Yair, yes, he's a good fighter, but against Max Holloway, got 6 minutes of control time against him. And let's see, Max Holloway, 3 seconds of control time. Max Holloway against Volk, 16 seconds of control time. Max Holloway against Calvin, 27 seconds of control time. Let's see a win right here. 0 seconds of control time. So Max Holloway does not even shoot for takedowns. He does not go for takedowns. He's a striker. And he got 7 minutes, was it? Almost 7 minutes of control time on Yair, just like Frankie Edgar. 8 minutes of control time on Yair. And that is how Yair loses. He's an incredible, crazy striker. But Volk, I feel like, is going to strike with him, of course. He wants to try to beat him at his own game. But I think Yair is just going to land some pretty solid shots in the beginning of the fight. And just have to, Volk is going to start wrestling. So maybe Yair wins round 1. And the odds tighten a little bit, the live odds. But I would just throw your money minus 380. I think that's a very good odds. I think the odds should be minus 600 for Volk's favorite, to be honest. I just don't really see a way him losing. Yair, can land like a body kick or something, but Volk just, I think he takes him down. If the striking gets too much, Volk can take him down. I think would have a I think Volk should have 80% takedown accuracy on this fight. He only has 34 here, but I think he can have 80-70% takedown accuracy against Yair. And just, if he loses against the striking, the fight always starts standing up. So if he feels any danger in the first round, maybe Yair lands some good shots. Volk maybe only lands a couple. Volk is just going to take him down halfway through the first round, maybe even in the second round, if the striking just gets too much to handle, since Yair is a very good striker. And I think he is better than Volk at striking, but Volk I think just dominates him if he can't win on striking. And of course he can win on striking, but if he cannot, he takes him down, dominates him. Minus 380, very good odds. So yeah. So thank you guys for watching here. If you guys want more picks, down in the description below. KO Combat Bets is my Instagram. Message me anything you want like that. Comment down below your picks. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next card. Peace out.